Hey everybody, and welcome back to The Whole Package by Premier Packaging. I am your host, Billy Watkins, and we are back today for the highly anticipated episode 2 of our deep dive into design work for packaging. And of course, I'm back with Premier's Packaging Design Manager, Tom Mason.
Hey Billy, thanks for having me.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. I always think of these things right before we go on. If we ever do this again, I think it'd be cool if we had lab coats.
Why
don't you do lab coats?
I don't know, because it can get a little, you can get a little dirty in here, slinging glue and things like that.
It's hot. And, right. So last time I came to you with my faux little business, my line of Billy's hand gloves.
Billy hands, I think it was
Billy hands, and you were able to kind of work your way through the right solution for that type of product. So this time, let's just start completely from scratch. I have really no idea what I want or what kind of packaging I need. Can you help me out?
Yeah. So for our little case study here, right, we're going to be practicing on coming up with some designs for mug packaging.
Just glass mugs.
Yep,
yeah.
Glass mugs, which is a very tricky item. They're fairly fragile. They're lightweight, but not as light as you might want certain things. So there's a lot of different directions we can go to protect these and come up with different solutions.
So when you're starting coming up with packaging design for something like a ceramic mug, what are the first key things you consider?
Yeah, ceramic mug or even any product is to really understand what the customer's goals are. There's going to be different things that are a priority for them. Is it going to be sold in a retail setting? Is this going to be shipped small parcel, e-commerce? Are they going to be moving large quantities of them through distribution centers or other efforts where they're going to be large quantities on a pallet? And all of that can create different packaging needs and solutions that we need to try and execute.
So obviously something like a mug, it's a fragile product. How do you go about assessing those particular needs?
Yeah, so in most cases, these are getting shipped small parcel.
Yep.
And so for that, we are going to look at all sorts of different materials they could possibly use. There's, this here is an EPS molded foam design here. It can be quite pricey.
Yeah, so you see that a lot,
yeah.
And I guess it's effective, but there's a price consideration.
There's a price consideration, and obviously the sustainability aspect to it as well. There's other materials that we can look into, such as the single face, different die-cut corrugated options, paper, dunnage and padding, wraps. There's a whole plethora of things.
So are there any particular kind of inserts or structural supports you recommend to keep something like my mugs safe?
Yeah, a big focus with the mugs that we try and do is to package, something around the mug and then it's put into an outer shipper there. Big thing to consider though is you need to have enough airspace and protection around it. So while this is a good initial element, you sometimes still need to grab and capture it different ways, especially with mugs. You need to be very careful with the handle.
The weak point is the handle, I would guess.
It is the handle, yep.
I'm getting a lot of returns for busted handles, I guess. So striking a balance between protecting the product and making the packaging visually appealing, it can be tricky. How do you manage that?
Well, we start the conversation with the customer on that. It's very important for us to understand what their expectations are, understanding the damages they are seeing through their particular supply chain, and versus what they actually want the final end user experience of the customer to be. In many cases with these mug packs, there's a need to have an access point to be able to scan a barcode to tell what mug it is. And we've got that incorporated on this design.
And I'll tell you what, though, I mean, in terms of a look, and it may do the job great, but God, I hate styrofoam. I hate anything I get that I have to get rid of styrofoam. It's just obnoxious.
Yeah, very hard to break down. What do you do with it? Yeah.
So from your experience, what are some common mistakes that that customers make when they're choosing or designing custom packaging?
Not really, not having a good awareness of what their goals are, what their targets are. They need to know what their target price point is for shipping the item, how it's going to move through their system, so that we have a better idea of the sort of stress that the package is going to go through as it moves through their conveyors, gets dropped into bins, then moves on to shipping.
So how do speaking of the foam and whatnot, how do sustainability goals get incorporated into designing this?
Well, sustainability is very important here at Premier Packaging. We always have that in mind. We always try and keep that at the forefront of our design thoughts, but it's also it's very important for us to understand what the customer's goals are too, because while we try to emphasize sustainable options, there are certain products, mugs fall into that at times, but there are certain products that don't survive when you use certain types of materials. But we do our best. We like to work on and try and develop these interesting corrugated solutions, because these are very sustainable options. A lot of this material can come as recycled material, and it certainly can be recycled afterwards very easily.
And that couldn't look more interesting and complicated. We'll get into that more, I think. But what are some of the main factors involved when you're talking about the cost for custom packaging?
So big factors for costs are going to be the tooling. Especially when you're doing, if you're doing EPS or if you're doing a custom corrugated insert, you're going to have a die charge.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got printing, you're going to have print plates, and that can be absorbed, depending on the quantity. You can amortize it. Yep, and eat that. But if your quantities aren't high enough, that starts to become a limiting factor. Another trick with mugs, particularly, especially if you're doing single packs, like we're kind of talking about in this scenario, is you need to still try and hit certain volumes with the actual sheets. And so if you have a small item with a small package, it takes more of them to hit those sheet volumes to get the most out of your costs.
So do you approach packaging design differently when preparing e-commerce versus retail stores?
Yes, absolutely. So I touched on earlier needing to have all this extra air cell space.
Right.
Very important for e-com. I mean, you just have to do it.
Right.
But for retail, you can get away with a lot less. It's going to be shipped in a much more safe, controlled situation where the boxes are, how many are getting stacked up on the pallets as they're moving through. And so you can tend to have the smaller packages. You don't have to create these elaborate inserts to try and give cushion, and you can start to focus a lot more on the print and the presentation.
Right, the look.
On shelf.
So before my new mug packaging does hit the market, what kinds of testing do you typically advise for?
Well, we definitely advise doing drop tests for the mug packs, because that's going to be the most rigorous form of any testing you would experience. We have the capabilities we have a fully certified ISTA testing lab, so we can run the full gamut of standard simulations such as ISTA 3A, which has vibration test and the drop tests.
Simulates riding over the road on a truck. It simulates
falls from heights as people are moving it, from their pack stations into their shippers.
You're not just standing on this table dropping something. It's a little better than that.
Well, we do sometimes. It's better than that. But we do ask the customer if there's any special situations.
Okay.
We had one that their conveyor is a much higher drop height than typical. So we actually do some specific drops for them with that scenario in mind to make sure we're better simulating their particular environment.
I'm just telling you, my guys in the warehouse, they're a little suspect on the forklifts. So I don't know what you can do for me, but no, I'm just kidding. So for customers who might not have a clear vision for their packaging, how do you help guide them towards that best solution?
I'm going to go back to what I've said before. I would really press them to understand what's the goal. What are they shooting for? Is retail their priority? Is survivability during shipping their priority? Is the price point of their shipper the most important thing to do.
And they're going to say all of the above.
And that's a great, that's, we hear that a lot.
Right.
That's called the unicorn design,
Yeah.
right? There's a saying, right? You can have cheap, fast, or good, but you can only pick two.
Right.
And so that's what we work with yourself and other customers to get to.
Well, can we talk specifically about the design you've come up with here?
Sure.
Because what I'm seeing that is in the shipper.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll push these aside. These are just some other explorations
those I have
worked
negated.
on.
I don't
Yep.
want those. I want
You want a
corrugated.
nice custom corrugated insert. So we have an outer shipper here, and it's got these holes cut in the side. This is twofold. One, it will give you the access to be able to scan that barcode.
Okay.
The other reason is this actually helps remove some weight from the package while still maintaining a good it
never even occurred to me about the scanning portion of it. But
Yep.
Now I know.
So this design is it's creating a capture point around the mug, and what's really cool about this design is, I'll show you here. You've got two different mug sizes. One's a little bit larger than the other.
Yep.
These ones actually are the same. So
They're-
cut that, Jake. Cut that. This is the big one. There, that's the big one. That's the little one.
I'm going to take that out.
There we go.
There we go.
So, but this allows us, this has some leeway where you can place the wrap around that, capture it, fill up these parts here. It creates a cushion on the bottom. There's some cushions on the side, all the sides. Then you just set it down into your package here.
Pretty slick.
And it's ready to go. So that's the open side there. There's where your barcode would be. It makes it easier for the workers to pack the boxes. They don't have to make sure they're in the particular specific orientation.
Right.
They just get the piece in there, put it in there. It's ready to go.
And this thing's coming to me flat, and it's just a simple fold up.
Flat die cut like that. Place your mug here, wrap this around and lock it. There you go.
Obviously, and we spoke about this a little bit, but production volumes do come into play here,
Mhm.
right? On something like this, am I because you're probably going to get several out of a sheet and all of that. I mean, what are we looking at? What would be a good number for me to order on this? You think
It's a stumper question.
stumper.
No, you'd have a fair amount of them here. We're talking in the thousands.
Okay. If I hope to be one of the more successful coffee mug salesmen in the world. So for this particular demonstration, just out of curiosity, did we already have kind of this solution come up with, or how long did this take you?
Yeah, this is a solution we've been working on for mugs. We actually have been working on different mug solutions in the whole 9 years I've been here.
Okay.
And they've all been successful, right?
Okay.
But we're constantly looking for new ways to evolve them, make them more efficient, make it lighter, address a specific concern with the customer. And this is just, one of the latest iterations of that. Yeah.
I love it. So what, are there anything, is there anything that comes up quite a bit, requests from customers that you would like to address while we've got some time?
It's really helpful for us to know if there's a printing component and what the expectations are for that. I know we've spent a lot of time talking about structure, but print is a whole nother animal, and the level of quality and the types of graphics that you can get are going to be widely different depending on the directions we go. Are we going to look at a digital print? Do they want a simple flexo print?
Right.
Or something even more high-end like litho? All those have very different applications through the manufacturing process.
You're adding steps with litho for sure. And
Yep. And then we treat the graphics completely different depending on what that manufacturing method is.
Are we seeing more and more of that, or is it pretty,
It varies. It varies. I guess there's always a desire for better, nicer printing that comes up.
But then there's the reality.
There's the reality and the costs. And so that's why it's so important to understand what the customer is really driving at, what's most important to them. Because yes, it may be more expensive, but it might be the right decision for the product. in the package. Actually, I have two different designs, print designs that I can show you for your mug product.
I would love to see them, please.
Let me go grab them.
All right. Just give him a moment. At the end of the day, this is just retail or it's in this box. You couldn't.
That one's meant to go direct to a customer. So
this could ship in this?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Really?
Of what's happening. The customer, these are all like custom printed mugs. You put a picture on it, put your name on it, whatever. Yeah. And then, which is why they're like, biggest thing is it's got to be a certain size and it's got to be under 15 ounces. And that's not always possible because some of the mugs are already 15 ounces. So
what is that parcel? What are they trying to hit?
They're trying to get it into under a pound USPS ground advantage, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Pretty much the cheapest. Okay.
I think we're good.
All right. So we've got a digital and a flexo version of your newest mug product.
They are gorgeous.
Mugged by Billy.
Mugged by Billy.
It's upside down there for you. But here you go. You can see it right there. There we go. Mugged by Billy.
I love it. I love it. It's a certain likeness of me drinking. We'll say that's coffee.
Oh, it's definitely coffee.
Man, that is that couldn't be nicer. So this is flexo.
That's right.
That's flexo, and this is litho. You said
this one would be digital. This particular one is digital.
Okay,
but it could do litho as well.
I love it. This
one has a heavier print coverage, finer graphics in the patterns.
Fully coated.
This one's just simpler two-color. Yep.
Man, that is you've done an amazing job and made another happy customer. Well
Fantastic.
Done. Tom,
that's what we try.
This has been great. I appreciate it. And I especially enjoy that I have a little logo now. I know my mugs are safe for delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And now everyone can get mugged by Billy. I guess I would have known a little bit more had I just read the entire line. So here we go. We're going to get a lot of requests for these mugs for folks to get mugged by Billy. So thanks again. And Tom Mason and Billy Watkins for the whole package by Premier Packaging. Until next time, bye-bye.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit primpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.